You know, the stakes in this election have never been higher. And here in Georgia, I got to tell you, the choice has never been clearer. Where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler stand for a strong national defense, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff will join Democrats in cutting our national defense to fund their big government programs. You know, Democrats a couple weeks ago were already talking about deep cuts in our national defense to fund their liberal agenda. And Raphael Warnock has actually demeaned our military and repeatedly defended the anti-Semitic rhetoric of Reverend Jeremiah Wright and criticized our most cherished ally, Israel. And where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler cut taxes across the board, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock want to raise taxes on working families and businesses large and small. Where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back the blue and will support conservative judges and the right to life, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock support defunding the police, activist judges, and taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Now, I heard that Senator Chuck Schumer said, first we take Georgia, then we change America. Well, I got a message for Chuck Schumer and all the Washington Democrats. We're going to keep Georgia, and we're going to save America. Are you with me? I know the people of Georgia get it. I mean, our agenda is American greatness. Their agenda is American decline. Where we're opening up, I promise you, they'll be locking down again. Remember when they said it was impossible to have a vaccine by the end of the year? I got to tell you, folks, buckle up. Before the end of this year, we're going to distribute about 40 million vaccines all across America. Thanks to the leadership of President Donald Trump, Senator David Perdue, and Senator Kelly Loeffler. We're making miracles happen. I mean, you all get it. We just got to make sure your neighbors get it every day between now and January 5th. Their agenda is higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, a Green New Deal, abortion on demand, defunding the police, and packing the courts. John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are wrong for Georgia and wrong for America. So, Georgia, I got back on the bus today. Because we need you to stay in the fight. We need the people of Georgia to stay in the fight for integrity in this election. And we need the people of Georgia to stay in the fight to defend the majority. Stay in the fight until we send David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back to a Republican majority in the United States Senate. So I got a couple things I want to ask you to do in the weeks ahead. The first thing I want to ask you to do, and I heard that ballots are already being sent out, absentee ballots, is vote, Georgia. Vote to re-elect David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler to the United States Senate. Early in-person voting starts Monday, December 14th. And I checked before I got off the bus. If you want to make a note of it, On the 14th, you can go up the road to the Cherokee County Board of Elections, 2782 Marietta Highway, Suite 100, right here in Canton. Come December 14th, they open at 8:30. Be in line and vote to re-elect David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler to a Republican majority in the United States Senate. I mean, we need you to do everything in your power. We need you to do everything in your power to make sure, to just be sure, that your two senators will be there to be a check on an agenda of the radical left. It's up to Georgia. As we continue our election contests in courts around the country, I promise you we're going to stay in that fight. You stay in this fight in Georgia. I mean, let's show the world. Let's show the world what Georgia's all about. That the agenda of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi is not the agenda of the people of Georgia. So after you make plans to vote, I want you to go out and tell somebody. Talk to your neighbors and friends. I mean, we're going into a season here, an unknowable season. We don't know what the future holds, but in my house, we know who holds the future. But I want you to talk to your neighbors and friends. Tell them what's at stake in this election. Tell them why you're so passionately committed to making sure that every legal vote is counted. And tell them why we need these two senators back. I mean, the stakes in this election are just that high. You know, and I'll always believe that the most powerful media in this country is not your social media, it's not your major networks, it's not your big newspapers, it's not your AJC. It's word of mouth. It's when someone who knows you and hears from you about a candidate or a cause that you believe is important to them, important to their liberties, important to the nation. So tell your neighbors and friends that we got to count every legal vote and we got to re-elect David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler to the United States Senate. You go tell them. And in the uncertain days ahead, lastly, I'd encourage you just to have faith. Have faith that this president will never stop fighting. For all the values that have always made America great, have been making America great again. That built the biggest and broadest coalition of any Republican in the history of our country. Have faith in these two leaders and all those like them around the country that have stood undaunted for an agenda that's made our nation stronger, more prosperous, and more secure, and vouchsafed our liberties and our values. And have faith in your neighbors and friends. I truly do believe that if we hold the banner of freedom high, if we do like those words that are inscribed on the Liberty Bell from the good book, that if we proclaim liberty throughout all the land and unto all the inhabitants thereof, that the American people will rally to our cause. Because this is a freedom-loving nation. And this is a nation of faith.